WQEE 99.1 FM The Key, home of Southern Sports and Talk. Noonan, Sharpsburg, Franklin. It's now time for Heart to Heart Radio, presented by Connecting Hearts Network, connecting women to one another and resources. Now here's your host, Margie Conway.
Hi, this is Margie Conway with Creative Hearts Studios, and this is Connecting Hearts Network program. I have the most awesome sponsors of anybody, anywhere that you could imagine. And these women are so great in our community and supportive to me that I want to take opportunities to be able to spotlight them and what's going on in their lives, not just their business, because you get to hear their commercial all the time, but in general what they have going on. Because today our first spotlight on our sponsor is Holly Reese. She is not... she's somebody you recognize and know well from on our broadcast because she does it often because we have a lot going on. You see her around town all the time, and everybody knows Holly as Warrior Defender. But she is very multifaceted and has a lot going on. And so we're going to catch up with Holly, see what's going on this year, what's happening for next year, what kind of mood she's in, just what else we can get out of her this morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
Good to be here. Always a pleasure to talk to you, Margie. You know, we do a lot together, and there has been a lot going on in 2023, and it's been exciting, to say the least, to be able to meet so many women who come to the self-defense classes, because that's what I specialize in, and to see them grow and to realize that they don't have to go to traditional self-defense classes to learn how to defend themselves. Right. They like the fact that there's no men there, right. And it's women only. And the ages this year that have ranged in my classes are ages 6 to age 96.
That is so cool.
And it was exciting to teach at assisted living homes where they have independent living, but they still felt like they needed to know how to protect themselves in home invasion. And I was able to go to Macon for that, and looking to do other local ones as well. I do travel, so it's now been brought to my attention that I'm the only self-defense instructor that's certified in NDDT in the East Coast. So
I do have NDDT.
Nick DeRosso's Defense Tactics.
Oh, okay.
So that is a special mix of Krav Maga, Korean Jiu-Jitsu, MMA, Muay Thai, Wing Chun, and street fighting techniques that are meshed together so well with his style that the fundamentals and the techniques are there to help immediately help somebody know if they have a specific problem. That's why I love that style, because anybody can do it. And if they're in a wheelchair, if they have a walker, if they have a cane, even little bitty kids can learn. I love working with the Girl Scouts.
Yeah, you've done a lot with the Girl Scouts.
It's been exciting this year too. And the mother and daughter groups that we do with the Girl Scouts, we also have powwows to address any questions the children have. One of the biggest problems that they are having right now is bullying.
Right.
And how to de-escalate that situation and know what to do. And unfortunately, the schools seem to be overwhelmed.
Right.
When the teachers are overwhelmed. So the children have to be their own heroes in that situation. And it's nice to be able to answer those questions. And I get feedback from some of the parents.
Good.
Saying, my daughter noticed this man, or they were able to describe to me this. And there's been a lot of good feedback with that.
Good.
So I'm glad they're learning. And that's why I do this, to impact the community.
Right. You do an awesome job. You know, I tell everybody I don't have to worry about anything because Holly's got my back. But I could probably take care of myself. Maybe not hand to hand, but in other ways.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's when I started this in 2017 at the beginning with your guidance, I didn't know where it would take me. And the good thing is I'm able to share my story as a survivor of domestic violence and help other women who when we know the statistics are awful. It's 1 in
Right.
3. And that's just domestic violence. Assault and rage and chaos are on the rise.
And that's just what's reported. There's so much that's not reported.
Exactly.
I mean, we even had a tragedy in our own community this week, and it broke my heart.
And unfortunately, the laws haven't caught up with the laws haven't caught up with these circumstances that need to be addressed. And there's a lot of things that can be improved. Way back in the day when I was going through mine, there wasn't laws to protect animals from domestic violence abusers, and the animals would get killed. So now they've passed laws to protect them as well. So I know that a lot of people feel that they need to have some changes and more support from the community, but we need the community to step up and say we need it.
You're right.
Everybody says, let's do something about it. Well, be part of that.
Right.
And the West Georgia Domestic Violence Shelter based in Carrollton covers 5 counties, and they are trying very hard to get the community to volunteer their time and be aware of the task forces and things that are there. So we need to not just say, well, let's do something about it. I need the community to step up and say, I am here, talk to me. I will help you figure out what we can do, because we have held domestic violence seminars, and people say, well, let's do this and let's do that, and then nothing happens.
Right.
We really, really need to have the community step up. And unfortunately, most of the time the community doesn't see it till there is a tragedy.
That's right.
And
well, domestic violence gets covered up. Domestic violence, first of all, is such a tradition in society, and we sweep it under the rug and we don't say anything about it. And that's the way I was for many, many, many years, and now I'll tell you everything and work to help other women share their stories with it. And but we're taught to sweep it under the rug and just to tolerate it and to do more, and all the lies that we get told with domestic violence. So it has to come out from under that rug. And we had the Me Too movement on sexual abuse and things. With domestic violence, we need to band together and support one another so that people feel comfortable coming forth and telling their stories.
There is a hashtag that most people aren't aware of called Break the Silence.
Yes.
That's a good one. If you're a survivor and you want to share your story, please reach out to me, because I am putting together events for next year where survivors who are strong enough can share their story and help other people who maybe don't understand domestic violence and what that process is. And the more events we can do like this, the better. To help the community understand why we stay.
Right.
And a lot of times right now, the biggest issue with them staying is the TPOs can't be moved because they don't have affordable housing.
You're right.
So that has to be addressed in the community as well, because we do have explosive rent charges right now, and people need to maybe give an option for people who have proof that they have been in the DV shelter, that maybe they could give them a discount for a couple months. I know that's pulling pockets, but for those who want to help the community, that would be a great help for a lot of survivors right now, because they were staying in their situations because they don't know where to go.
Well, and that's one thing Coweta Force is working on here, because in the work that they do with recovery, affordable housing is a stumbling block to an awful lot of people. So they are working with a couple of different organizations to try to start building some and doing a little bit more. And you and I are going to try to start our own fund as we move into next year to be able to help with that. But we'll get more into that a little bit later.
And I'm looking forward to working with Coweta Force in having community events there to educate for domestic violence. That's on my calendar for coming up to-do lists in the coming year.
Well, I've been talking with him on a couple of things. Matter of fact, I'll see him tonight, because Coweta Citizens Academy graduation. But we were talking about trying to provide just more sober family events because we have so much that includes alcohol, and to a lot that major stumbling blocks. So being able to provide more safe family events that we can be able to do. And part of doing that is because when you invite people to these social occasions, then they get to know you a little bit better and they may be willing to come and start talking. Because I know we have had that in our Her Journey group lately. We have doubled in size over the last month with people coming from McDonough, Columbus, and Carrollton to come here. And we didn't know there was anything, and so we need to let them know that there is something there, and they didn't know where else to go or what else to do to tell their stories.
Because there's a lot of like, oh, well, you could go to a group, but we're not standing up there saying, this is who I am, this is what I've been through. The Her Journey gives everybody a platform to share if they want to or just learn, and bond with people who like-minded struggles.
That's what makes the difference. They come in, they say, oh, I don't feel by myself anymore. And I completely understand that because it's not your traditional support group. It is very much, you use the empowerment phrase a lot. It is an empowerment group for the women. It's a healing group for the women. We've had them come fresh out of the situation. We've had some still in a situation, and some that's been out of it for 20 years, and it's still affecting their lives. And unless you do the healing work, it will still affect your life.
And a lot of survivors of any assault or domestic violence really don't want to do therapy because therapy is digging in, and it's a forceful digging in.
Right.
And the Her Journey is more of a, well, you're here, we're here to give you hugs and love and support, and we're not going to force you to go relive all the trauma that you might not be ready to handle. In fact, I've just been now working on an anthology with about 15 other authors, and it's coming out February 22nd. And I know how this is, but I've never written my story down.
Right.
I have always talked about my story in my classes and here on the podcast, but writing it down is a completely different animal. So I'm excited to, besides journaling, which I've done forever.
You're writing for public. And in case you guys didn't know, Holly is an author, and we're going to talk about that as we talk a little bit more in this hour. But yeah, writing it down is a whole different story than sitting there and telling your part of it. It allows you to examine it from many angles instead of just like me, when it first started coming out, the hurt that you feel at first and the damage that's been done. And it gives you a chance to write the whole story, to look at it from a perspective and look back and say, first of all, I survived, so I am a warrior. And be able to share it with other people. I know with the Her Journey group, we have one of the ladies is participating in a book project next month to help write her story. One lady who just joined us last week has already written her story in a book and had it published. And they're at way different places in doing it. Now I feel like I have to say, don't let the fact that they're sharing their stories publicly stop you from coming, because there's people that still do not open their mouths and talk, except to say the coffee is good, and that's fine too.
And where's the donuts?
Where's the donuts? You're right. And so we always have the coffee pot brewing.
Well, there was one thing that came to me when I was doing this chapter. It's just one chapter in a book of 15 other authors. We're all talking about going beyond the programming of your life. Wow. So what did you go through to get to where you are today? And the stories that are coming out in this book are amazing. But the one thing I mentioned in there was, in order to build a better community, we share our stories not to give power to the situation, but to give power to others.
Right.
To encourage others that there is life after. And, it hurts, really, really hurts when I meet people who really can't move past.
You're right.
And watch them stay where they are, but that's at their time. That's where they need to be. It's not anybody's choice to judge them, but we're always going to be there to support them. So that was just one of the things that came to mind. It's like, in order to build a better society, a better community, if we don't share our stories and we keep all this hidden, we're not going to empower other people to move forward and know, hey, they went through this too. You are not alone.
Absolutely.
And that's what you feel like when you're going through anything, any struggle, you feel like you are alone.
Right.
And it's the most devastating feeling to be in that darkness and thinking you have to fix everything. And when I was going through my journey in life, I realized I can't do this on my own.
Right.
If you try to do it on your own, you're going to stay stuck. So you have to find something to grab a hold of to give you support. Be it the Her Journey, be it good friends, be it positive relationships, which we learned in Her Journey, to make sure that they're giving you the right advice and not just belittling you.
Well, and that's one reason we refer people to each other. Is like I've had, I'll tell them in a minute, you need to go meet Holly. Not necessarily to learn self-defense, even though that is a very important reason, but because being able to defend yourself is what to do. Now, our talk is doing like it always does, and it's going into the cause of domestic violence and staying and the stories behind it, because that's really the heart from both of us. Let's focus it more on Holly.
Uh-oh.
Let's focus it more on Holly. All right, so you are doing well in your classes. You've been teaching a lot. You had a very big organization hire you on to do some classes lately, and I'm so proud of you for that.
Thank you. I was excited to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Walmart Health Community, and I had no idea that they did this kind of thing. Walmart Health in Dallas, Georgia, reached out to me to teach their community classes up there, and I've done 3 so far, and I'm coming back next year. So anybody in the Dallas community area, besides y'all have the best Walmart I've ever seen, needs to come up there and get involved in the self-defense classes. And they also have yoga and bingo and all this stuff. It's an amazing store. We need one down here that does all this stuff.
Is that community involvement, or is that employees?
It's community. They bring in outside instructors, and they bring in outside educators. Like they had a fire marshal come in and teach safety and fire safety and how to work a fire extinguisher. How many of us don't know how to do that? And that they really, I was thrilled that they reached out to me, and I'm excited to come back, and I'm hoping to get into other Walmart Health areas that have these community rooms. And they're not that big of a room, but they serve a purpose. And for me, I don't need a big room. A lot of people think you need this huge gym to do these classes, and I don't. I need a living room or a little patio or anything like that, because women are usually attacked in close quarter situations. Right. So I was super excited to do that. I was thrilled to be able to go to Macon. I've been reached out by other libraries, because I also do the Carnegie Library here, but other libraries in other cities have reached out to me to be able to come up and see them. I am looking into doing seminars all over the state. So if you know anywhere that you'd like to do a seminar, I am mobile.
Oh, yes, she is. She stays on the go all the time. Matter of fact, she has 2 part-time jobs, and she's had to get people hired and trained to cover her at her 2 part-time jobs so she can travel and teach classes and do seminars.
It's been really exciting. And I also teach weekly classes at True Balance in downtown Newnan. Looking into some other local gyms that are wanting me to teach out there. There is an upcoming event at the Bungee Studio.
I've heard about the place.
Boogie Bungee Fitness.
Okay.
And if you guys, I've tried bungee. It's so much fun. You just need to do a demo and realize that you bounce around like a kid in the swing, and it's awesome. But I'm doing a seminar coming up December 16th over there. 16th, 14th. I don't have my calendar in front of me, but and then
they can find out all that on your website. Though.
Yes, it will be posted on warriordefenders.com, and then we're doing a seminar coming up in January for them. So it's an intro and then a seminar. I also have Chatty Noonan Women. We're doing a fundraiser for the Scott Memorial Foundation up in January. There's been some local businesses that are doing team events with me, team building events. So not only do they learn self-defense, they get to have fun. And explore how they can be stronger as a team together. And training a team in self-defense and de-escalation and safety at work, and what's the best way to leave if they're leaving by themselves. And that's been exciting. There has been so much going on.
Oh, yeah.
I have a new self-defense customized design tool by me that is being released in January. So you won't be able to get it unless you contact me on the website. But I'm excited to showcase that design soon. And it'll come in multiple colors, so it's not all just purple. We have designed safety bracelets now that people can carry their self-defense tools on that are custom designed by me. Some of them glow in the dark, which is kind of cool. So those are available now, but the self-defense tool that's attaching to them is coming out in January.
That's cool.
Let's see. I'm trying to think, because it's been a whirlwind of a year.
It has.
And I'm just so grateful that it is turning to this point so I can impact more people in the community, more women who you would never see come to a self-defense class normally. So the average people that are in my self-defense classes are not the people you would see at the karate studios or any of those places. They're average, I don't want to say Joes, but they're average like us. They're average moms. I'm going to be 50 in January, so that I'm not an average age self-defense instructor, and everything is just, it's easy for them. And to get the feedback and the testimonies, which I'm trying to figure out how to put on my website, has been very helpful for me to know that they are learning, and they are able to reach out to me after their classes and say, look, I need to talk to you. Can we meet and have coffee? Because this is what's going on in my life. And I am open to that. And I tell people that all the time. If you want to talk, have coffee, if you've got something going on, you don't want to shop with me in public with other people, you want to share your story privately, contact me. I do mean it, because we are here to be, I'm not just a business. I am somebody who wants to help you individually if that's what you need.
Right.
So let's see. What else is going on?
Well, let's see. That covers a lot of self-defense stuff.
There's just been
which is a big thing.
There's
been a big thing.
I've been traveling so much, and I'm not really a fan of driving. So you know that I love the people I'm talking to, because
it's definitely a passion project.
But the driving is not.
Yeah.
That's not a fan.
Now we're going to have to hire her a driver. She don't need the bodyguard, though.
No, I just need the chauffeur.
Instead of the Lincoln lawyer, she can be the Coweta chieftain. I don't know, something like that.
Oh, that brings up that was at the homecoming for East Coweta. That was a lot of fun. They had a horse there and I never got a chance to do homecoming and all that as a kid, so it was really nice to see the kids and the teenagers and the moms coming up.
It sounds like it. So tell me, now let's move to your writing, because Holly is an author. She's already published a children's book that's out. So tell them a little bit about the children's book.
So the children's book is called Little Brown Monkey, and it's a story my dad told me when I was growing up, and he was a teamster. So back in the day, now I'm going to date myself for sure, we recorded things on audio cassette. So he would tell the story, but I'd have to hear it before I went to bed every night. And when he was on the road, I couldn't hear it. So my mom recorded it on audio cassette, and we kept it. And all these years, my family's like, you need to make Little Brown Monkey a book. And I'm like, okay. When are you going to do Little Brown Monkey as a book? Okay. So
Little Brown Monkey's now a book.
Little Brown Monkey's a book. And it's for, I was around 3 or 4 when he told me the story. So it's a good book to bond with your children and read it with them. It's got wonderful illustrations from Noah Hancart that I worked with, who's a local illustrator. When we started the project, he was 17. He's now 21. So, but the Little Brown Monkey just goes through the journey of him traveling through the jungle, and then he needs to figure out where he belongs, because he didn't know what little brown monkeys were good for, and he was asking other jungle monkeys jungle creatures what little brown monkeys were good for. And eventually he finds where he belongs. And this year, we are in project to do a sequel to that.
Oh, cool.
So we're going to be designing the new book. So hopefully that will be out soon. But books are not like what people think. They don't come out overnight. I mean, if you wanted to do a good book, you can publish your book on Amazon. But if you want to do a really good book, you have to do some research, make sure you do it right, get the marketing correct, and all of that. But if you want Little Brown Monkey right now to give as a gift for somebody, it's on Amazon.
Okay.
And all you need to do is type in Little Brown Monkey, and it should pop up. And it's a great gift for somebody right now. And the kids just absolutely love the pictures. And Noah did a wonderful job with that
Yes,
book.
he did, especially at his age. But, I mean, it was far past his age for what he did.
Yeah, and he has a unique artistic style that I just absolutely love.
That's great. So you mentioned an anthology that you're doing. Tell us about the anthology.
The anthology, I met the coordinator through Zoom and Facebook in 2020 when we were all out there trying to communicate and share our stories. And she's done 3 others before this one. This would be the 4th one. All of them would cover different topics, from healing to recovery and just to build us as women up. Mm-hmm. And this one is called Going Beyond the Programming of Your Life. And the anthology's titles are Houses of Light. Because as women, we all need to shine our light out into the darkness to help other women build ourselves up. And this one is about going through what we shouldn't have been able to get out of.
Right.
And a lot of times when you're in a situation, you get programmed to, this is all its life's ever going to be. Mm-hmm. I can't move forward. I need to find myself. And some people have gone through things where they felt subjected by family to live a certain way. And with 15 authors, the stories that are coming out of this are absolutely amazing. And I'm so excited to read everybody's journey. And she reached out to me and said, hey, I'm doing a 4th book. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, you want to be involved? And I'm like, that's great. So I'm excited that I'm able to share my story there in that as well. That is available on pre-sale right now, since it is launching on February 22nd for Kindle. Mm-hmm. And it's not very expensive for the pre-sale or the Kindle. The hard copies will be available after the launch. And that's on Amazon as well, Going Beyond the Programming of Our Life. And the co-coordinator is Diane Novak. So if you put in her name, you can find that. Of course, if I can figure out how to post all this on my website, I will. But, everything takes time when you're a one-woman show.
And you run quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you have the other novel that you're working on. How's progress with it going?
Oh, that's going well. So we had to do 2 or 3 rewrites because of copyrights to some things that are in the book. So we had to rebuild a few sections of it. It's now in its final edit, and it will be launching next year as well. I would like to find an agent, but if I'm not able to find an agent, I will have that out because we're already working on the sequel to that one because it's a trilogy.
Okay.
And that one is called Life After Silence. And it's a fiction story, about a sci-fi in a dystopian world where there really isn't justice. And a lot of us feel in today's world there's not justice on a lot of things. So that's where that book kind of arrived from. And it's a little interesting. So in a dystopian world where there is no justice, a woman is there along with her genetically enhanced creatures that travel with her. And she has a mad scientist and a military expert and then a hacker. And then she has the farmer who has to feed the whole crew.
Yeah, it's a big job.
It is a big job, especially for these creatures that she has. And she meets people along the way, but she's looking for the person who's doing the most damage to society, which was a person that she was involved with. And when everything crashed, she got away. And now she wants to find him and put an end to that. and she ends up having to rescue a little girl and find where everybody is and then save a few people. So it's an adventure book. It's kind of like Hunger Games or Divergent, that category. And I'm excited to release that because that has been a pet project in my head for a long time, and I had to learn how to write it and get it edited and figure all this stuff out. And considering I'm dyslexic, that can be a problem sometimes. So we're getting better at that. And that's Life After Silence. Little Brown Monkey and Life After Silence both have their own Facebook pages and Instagrams as well. So if you wanted to see when the release of that is going on, you are always welcome to follow those Facebook pages too. Some of them have videos, but Facebook, you know how they are. They change stuff and you don't get to see it. But we're figuring that out on the way.
Yeah, well, that's an ongoing thing anyway, because social media changes overnight all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You are awesome on social media and on YouTube doing your videos and in your TikToks and all that good stuff.
Thank you.
Tell us about your production and how where you started it and how you've learned to do more of it.
Wow. Well, if I go back and I look at the old videos and I'm like, ugh, or I look at the old social media, ugh. But I've learned over the years to utilize the tools that I have without reaching out to learn more programming because there's only so much space in this brain that we can use. And sometimes you're like, okay, I can't learn anymore. But I have used Canva on a regular basis, and Canva is up their game for video creation and things like that. And when it comes to the uploading of YouTube videos and TikTok, boy, that was a challenge.
Oh, yeah.
I was really against being on TikTok for a very long time, but when 2020 happened and everything was going, you just got to learn. And the first few were very challenging. And now the one that just recently went a little crazy was the one about teaching people how to get out of their car in a defense mode on a regular basis. Because if you do things on a regular basis, including carry your defense tools or handle yourself a certain way, you're already always prepared.
Right.
And so some of those are done on spur of the moment. Some of them are done in my video recording studio, so we have the lighting and all of that. And some of them have been done in my front yard. So wherever I need to be to do the video is the best thing to do at the time. The editing of some of the videos can be intense. Like there's one on there that was the most challenging. It was firearms will not protect you all the time.
Right.
And that's the longest one I had, and it was an interview with a retired female police officer. And the hardest part for that production was putting pictures with the sounds,
right?
Because it was done during lockdown, and people were getting firearms, and they didn't know what they were doing, and that was causing issues. And so that one took me about a month to put together because I had to learn the program to do that.
Well, that's the gentleman that's doing the media at our church now. Because when I worked there, I automatically became audio and video producer and editor for TV shows, and this was way back when you had to transfer it over and then put it on the computer and then put it on a disc to take to the TV station. Yep. Now it's so much different.
Yeah, remember the old movies where they pop the VCR tape?
Yeah.
And I still work with those VHS tapes at one of my jobs. We're like a functioning museum in analog. So that really helped build my knowledge on lighting and things like that. But it boils down to being as authentic as you can and not really stressing about what you're going to say in what order. We're not perfect at all. And if you have fun making the videos or you have a message that needs to come across, that's what I try to do in my video production. And, try not to look too goofy.
But Goofy's fun. It makes an impact.
Goofy is fun. We did one last year for how to defend yourself from Michael Myers during Halloween and what not to do. And, of course, horror shows always show what not to do. But in downtown Noonan, so a lot of people were watching that while we were filming it. The film production in this area is so high that even if you had like any questions about filming, you can reach out. I have quite a few friends that are actors and backstage production people, so that really helped in figuring out what lighting I needed for an inside studio. Of course, when it's this cold right now, you can't really shoot outside.
It's hard to tape inside when it's cold.
True, because sometimes you just gotta warm up. But I mean, if you're fighting, you warm up pretty quick. But that process has taken a while. I did take a class on Blender one time, and I just gave up on it because I was trying to create my novel for a book trailer.
Right.
And in order to make hair, it's complicated. So I was like, I'm still trying to figure out who I'm going to get to do the book trailer. But with Canva, I might be able to have them help me with that. And working on doing maybe getting some actors to do the book trailer coming up in 2024. So we don't know, but it's a process, but it's a learning process. And
everything's a learning process, yeah.
One of the best advice I got was from my certification instructor, Nick. He says, if you don't know how to do it and it needs to be done, find somebody who can do it.
Yeah.
So that was another thing I had to deal with. I was trying to design T-shirts and things like that, and I kept making them incorrectly, and they kept printing out really bad because I can do graphic layout,
but it's different.
It's different on shirts. So I found somebody who could take that, and we are going to be launching a whole apparel line this coming year, and it's going to be called Gumption Gear. So gumption is something that came from when I was going through my journey. Mm-hmm. My therapist told me that I would not have survived if I did not have gumption. So we're going to do gumption gear, and it's going to have a lot of really empowering sayings on there and fun stuff that women can wear, along with everything that they can get for the custom self-defense tools. So that is being designed right now, so I'm excited about that, because then we can have more than just Warrior Defender t-shirts to wear. We can wear fun sayings, too.
Holly is very, very, very busy. I don't know how she's going to have time for the two of us to form a nonprofit.
Oh, well, there's a calendar. That's what it's for.
Yeah, it's got to mesh together somewhere in there.
The nonprofit I'm excited about, Heart of a Warrior.
Yeah, we now have hoodies and T-shirts and bracelets to sell to help keep funding it to get it set up. We've already filed for an LLC. And to do the Heart of the Warrior, it was necessary because, like, Holly can't go teach in the shelters unless she's a nonprofit. And there's many things that we've encountered that we could participate in to help domestic violence and abuse victims, mm-hmm. that you have to be a nonprofit or it is advantageous to be so. So we decided to form one together that would kind of cover all of what we both do, and then we could operate under that. Mm-hmm. And so we are launching Heart of a Warrior.
2024 is going to be the year.
And it's going to be a busy one.
Mm-hmm.
And our goal with Heart of a Warrior, and I don't have the mission statement in front of me, but it is to, what do we say, to educate and equip and empower women to become warriors against domestic violence and abuse and bullying.
Yep, you got
it. To empower those that needs healing to, open their heart up and be healed. And it's not the really good words we wrote on paper, so forgive me, but it should be on the website.
Yes.
But we're excited about being able to do that.
And it's Heart of the Warrior
Trainings.com or
.com and .org. And I like that because it pairs us together, and not only Margie teaches the personal boundaries and the things that are good and healthy relationships, and especially for Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, that is coming up in February, and April is Assault Awareness Month, and this is all important because if we see the signs, we don't get into the problem. Right. So she teaches seminars and things on that, and then we can follow up with teaching them how to defend themselves if they do get into a problem. So those collaborative workshops are extremely helpful for schools and groups of people and church events and things like that.
We're going to name them Warrior Women Workshops. So we have Warrior Women and Warrior Women in Training, which would be for the younger women. Mm-hmm. And that way we are covering all the bases. It's a little bit more in depth than just coming to a one-on-one with me or doing a regular self-defense class.
Right.
So that way you get people who have been highly trained in the different aspects of their areas. And like you said, maybe we can catch some of these younger women so they don't fall into a lot of the traps that many of us have fallen into. And we can help those who are in one climb out of it and move forward.
Yeah, one of the biggest things I like to say is we need to impact the younger ones to change the generation so that there isn't all this silence later.
Right.
And that brings me to another point, because now we do PowerPoint presentations as well. So we can do these in large groups and train more people at one time to educate them with the PowerPoints and move forward with the training. And with Warrior Women, we're going to be able to, the Heart of a Warrior, we're going to be able to do those PowerPoint presentations to larger groups and customize them for younger ages and do them in the schools and things where they can be met and addressed, like what's good, what's not. This is how you're supposed to do this. This is how you shouldn't do that. What are good relationships with your friends? Because a lot of children don't know.
They're not trained. First of all, they're not. They don't get to see it because many adults are not trained and don't know. Mm-hmm. Me personally, I fell into so many things that I didn't intentionally do many of them, but I still was a chain breaker in my family. Mm-hmm. Heather, I did my best to start training her. So that she didn't even fall into a lot of what I did, and she broke many more chains. But we have both been working with Haley so that Haley knows that she can set her standards. She don't have to lower them. She can be herself for people to like her, and if they don't, it's their problem, not hers. Mm-hmm. And to look for healthy relationships and let that be the goal that she has in her life. And believe me, Haley has embraced that. So we need to be able to teach how to do those.
Our children are our future.
Right.
And if we keep letting everything slide and they don't learn to improve, what do they say as a teacher? You want your student to surpass you?
Absolutely.
That is the whole goal. So I'm excited about those PowerPoint presentations that I offer and what we can offer in Heart of a Warrior too.
We have, I do her journey. I am certified in that. I'm one of 3 on the eastern states, the only one around here locally, but we have another one about to start training. And and then there's a program called One Love that I got certified with, and it's teaching children and teens healthy relationships. Mm-hmm. It's a fun way to do it. And one called Teen Power, so that we have just a little bit more power behind what we're teaching so that we can go out there and reach what we
Yeah, we're not just saying what we believe. We really did go to school for all this stuff.
Yeah, we backed it up. I got the certificate. I didn't hang all my certificates on the wall, but I got them, I promise you.
I can't fit them on the wall. I have 11 going on 12 right now, and I can't fit them on a wall, and so if anybody wants to know, like when I was at Walmart just a few weeks ago, they wanted to know about cane, and they're like, well, it's very familiar to Cali stick training. Mm-hmm. So I did Cali stick training and showed them the difference, and there's not much of a difference between that and cane, except they're not as mobile when you're in a wheelchair or something like that.
Right.
So that's all effective. So it's been a big year. Yeah. And 2024 is going to be amazing for all of you all who want to join us on our journey for 2024. You need to join in with us now so you can catch up and not be left behind later.
We intend to go full speed when we hit January. So, Holly, what do you do in your spare time?
Spare time. I really like watching movies when I can. Mm-hmm. Sci-fi series. Believe it or not, I watch things that I watch things I had never watched before because I couldn't.
Right.
So I love to watch the choreography in fight scenes in mm-hmm. movies to see if they're doing it right or not. Nick is a stunt coordinator for a lot of Hollywood sets now too. So that's fun for me. I love my dogs.
Yeah.
make me laugh every time I come home, or if I've had a rough class, one of them's so big he'll lay across my whole body and go, "You're not moving now." And I just love walking around in town squares and seeing new things. And I think that a lot of the times we forget to notice nature.
Right.
And so I live out in a huge 2 acres, and we have 12 deer that I've counted so far. We have a black bear. We have coyotes. I love collecting armadillos. So anybody who doesn't want an armadillo can drop them off at my house.
Okay.
We've got a white armadillo that I would love to have little babies of little white armadillos. Raccoons and possums and squirrels. And
so she does not have a garden.
No, we don't have a garden where they can get to. I do have a huge fence, so anything that the animals, the wildlife is left outside of my dogs, and the inside. But we haven't been successful at a garden because there's too many trees. But we have tried, and then we love just exploring, like just to explore, sit in front of a campfire. And I love to paint too. I don't know if you know. I go to Corner Arts Gallery on the square and paint ceramics. So I'll take like an hour and go over there, and I'm working on a little snowman right now, and he's adorable.
Okay.
So I do. That's very relaxing for me. And joining in with the bungee classes or closet polar, and I do the lyra or the yoga and stretching, and I do take some time for myself, but
I don't know where she does it.
But a lot of the times my problem is mostly that everything I want to do as a hobby turns into a career. So I'm picking stuff I won't make into a career as a hobby.
All right. We've got a few minutes left, so I'm going to ask you some questions.
Okay.
What is your favorite TV show?
The Walking Dead and 100.
Where is your favorite place that you've ever traveled?
Well, I love the Bahamas. I would go back, but I want to travel to Montana. That's on my checklist.
Montana.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I love the mountains and Glacier Park and the pictures I see, and I just love to see the horses roaming free.
Okay. We talked about your hobbies. What do you look for in a friend?
Loyalty, compassion, and flexibility in time.
I can be loyal and flexible. I don't have much compassion.
Yeah, but you're a good friend, so it's okay.
What bad habit do you have that you wished you didn't?
That's a hard one. Everybody's got a lot of bad habits. I think the hardest one that I struggle with is when you're having a bad day, sometimes you just don't want to do anything and you want to hide.
Yeah.
So I struggle with making sure that I don't let that get to me. And I'm also really, really bad at not taking self-care time for myself in my personal journaling, which I really like to do, and I just need to take time to do it.
We talked about what all you're passionate about. Is there a book you have read that changed your life?
Wow. Quite a few, actually. I like to read a lot of fictions, but there was one called The Heart Dog, that really helped me through a lot. And oh my, there's so many. You threw me off.
I'm just reading the questions off the list.
But there's quite a few. Most of them were mostly books that turned into movies. And meeting the authors to those books changed my life. Like when I met James Dashnar from The Maze Runner, he told me to continue writing. And I liked his style, and that I think that's really inspiring me for Life After Silence is his style.
Okay. Do you have a hidden talent that we don't already know about?
Well, a lot of people don't know that I was a dancer for 13 years. And
I knew it.
Yeah, you did. But I still love to dance, but not professionally. And I think painting might be a hidden talent most people don't know about.
Describe your perfect day.
Oh, y'all aren't going to like this. My perfect day is being snowed in.
I can go for that.
With a heater, balled up with like hot chocolate or chicken soup. I love chicken broth. And watching Netflix or working on my book and just relaxing at home because I don't get to spend a lot of time at home.
You're right. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
This one's going to sound weird, but it would be to be able to tell the animals that everything will be okay, especially the ones that have been abused, and for them to tell me their story so I can understand them better. That is always something I wanted to do.
So she wants to be an animal whisperer. What makes you laugh the hardest?
I laugh at myself when I run into walls.
You're not supposed to run into walls.
Well, if somebody shuts a door, and I just run right into it. But, really just enjoying people talking, like sitting around at a table and listening to people's stories and funny things that have happened to people. I don't usually watch comedy shows, but...
I don't usually think the comedy shows are funny.
No, but real life is more funny.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Who has made the biggest influence on your life?
Wow. My mom has been a great supporter of mine over the years, and she's gone through everything. And Margie, I'm going to say that without meeting you, I wouldn't have been able to move forward out of the hole I was in, so I'm grateful for that. And so many of the survivors and the students that I meet are a big support system, and I love everything that they share with me.
What movie could you watch over and over?
Star Wars and Home Alone.
How many houses have you lived in?
Oh, geez. I'm going to say at least 21 different houses.
Yeah, I don't know.
I had to move a lot when I was with my ex-husband, so...
Yeah. I know that's weird. And I've been in this marriage 23 years and lived in the same place the whole time. It's kind of boring.
I used to call myself a gypsy.
Yeah.
But I don't like it anymore. Maybe I'm getting too old. I like to stay where I am.
I don't know. I want to go travel. What was the best concert you've ever been to?
I have never been to a concert in my life. And I am planning on going to one this year because every time I plan to go, something happened, like COVID or a cancellation or a storm. So I'm looking forward to going to my concert. And if you follow me on Facebook, you'll get to see the craziness that I go to.
Who are you going to see?
New Kids on the
Block. What's your favorite food?
Chicken.
How?
Any way possible. If every time I'm done with a self-defense class or it's cold, I do chicken broth, or I have chicken on the bone, or chicken sandwiches, or just chicken plus cheese.
So what is your most treasured personal item?
Memories. Okay. Well, I'll build on that. So, I wear permanent jewelry, and I carry a Nola around my neck, and I carry my other dog that just passed, AJ, around my ankle. And I think that personal items can be replaced. Memories are so important, and building them is so important. But I like a lot of things, but I also know that not everything lasts forever.
True.
But anything that has to do with I loved collecting antiques, so anything that had to do with my grandmother or anything like that, I love to hold on to those when I can.
All right. Well, we've talked about a lot. You got a lot going on, girl.
You learned a lot about me today, too.
Yeah.
There is a lot going on, but it's all positive.
Yes, it is.
Which I like, because so many people have so much negative in their life that I'm grateful to have the positive.
Right. Well, you work hard for it. You really do. Things like what you do don't just fall into your lap. You really work for it. And so I admire you greatly for that.
Thank you.
And for the impact that you already have on our community. I thank you because I get to hear it from many people all the time. And I'm like, hey, I know her.
Yeah.
And so it is a pleasure to have you as a friend. and a pleasure to have you as a sponsor. I appreciate you very, very much.
Me too.
Tell people how they can find you if they're looking for you.
Sure. Let's see. If you're looking for Warrior Defenders, you can find that on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. LinkedIn would be Holly D. Reese, and then on Facebook it's Holly D. Reese. And for the books, Little Brown Monkeys on Facebook and Instagram, Life After Silence is on Facebook and Instagram. And, of course, when you go to my website at warriordefenders.com, you'll see a lot of those links there. And there's my phone number, so I am reachable all the time.
That's good. So we will try to put links up under this when we publish it. But thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today.
Thank you for having me here and for being you, Margie.
Thank you. Next time, we will reach out to some of the other sponsors. They're not as easy to get on the air as Holly is. Holly has even went and covered for me a couple of times as co-host of the program, and I appreciate being able to call on you to do that and to do last-minute things. I appreciate all my sponsors, but I wish they were willing to talk. But they know I'm willing to talk, so they don't worry about it. Stay tuned. Check out Creative Heart Studios on Facebook, CreativeHeartTherapies.com on the internet, and look out for Heart of a Warrior. We've got a lot coming up, and this is Connecting Hearts signing off for now.
Are you looking for that special gift this year for your daughter, sister, mother, grandmother, or best friend? Give the gift of safety and self-defense. Hi, I'm Holly Reese, founder of Warrior Defenders. As a certified tactical self-defense instructor, I specialize in women's self-defense. Classes are weekly, in-person, or schedule a seminar. Online courses are available. You can shop self-defense products and tools on my website, warriordefenders.com. I'm here to help you customize the perfect gifts for the ones you love.
Shopping for insurance doesn't have to be stressful. I'm Christy, owner of Ellsworth Insurance, located here in Newnan, Georgia. We're an independent agency with access to multiple carriers for home, auto, life, health, and commercial insurance. We're your one-stop shop for your insurance needs. www.insurewithellsworth.com, 770-755-7053. We look forward to meeting you soon.
Hello. I'm Pina Payne with Contour Mortgage, and we're so excited. We have just moved to this new company, and we are located at 560 Newnan Crossing Bypass in Newnan next to Art and Jake's, and we have some great products. Our interest rates are better than any other companies, and we also have some great products for the VA. We can do a better deal for you with fees than any other company. We have a lot of different kind of programs.
Moving is a big decision. Selling or buying a home in any market, but especially today's, can raise a lot of questions. Hi, I'm Amy with Killingsworth Realty. My husband Todd and I serve the Coweta and local area. Our purpose at our first meeting is to learn your goals, answer questions, and provide resources so that you can make the best decision for you and your family. 678-525-0047 to schedule a free consultation today to discuss your real estate needs. You don't have to do this alone.
This is Margie from Connecting Hearts Network. I'd like you to take just a moment and listen to Linda Kirkpatrick explain to you what Family Patterns Matters is all about.
Family Patterns Matter works with youth and their families to help overcome barriers that prevent their success. We meet twice a month with mentoring, tutoring, teaching life skills, resilience, gratitude, and kindness. We also bring music and art therapy. Please visit our website at www.familypatternsmatter.org.
You have been tuned in to Heart to Heart Radio, presented by Connecting Hearts Network, connecting women to resources and one another. Located at 3 Bullsboro Drive here in Newnan. Tune in next week for another episode of Heart to Heart Radio with Margie Conway. WQEE 99.1